Right, we're going to be having a look at dividing mixed numbers, okay? It's very similar to multiplying mixed numbers, so you need to be confident, firstly, with converting mixed numbers into improper fractions. Then you need to be confident with how you divide two fractions. Then you need to be confident about simplifying fractions, and then finally converting back from an improper fraction to a mixed number. Okay, so the process of dividing mixed numbers is very similar to the process of multiplying mixed numbers. The first thing you want to do is get rid of the mixed numbers, turn them into improper fractions, okay? So you're going to convert to improper fraction. That's the first step. Okay, once you have converted them both, or one, to improper fractions, so long as you can't see any more mixed numbers, that's fine. Then you're just going to carry out your division, okay? So carry out division. If you're unsure about dividing fractions, I've done a video on that. It's all about multiplying by the reciprocal. We'll go through a few examples in a second. Once you've carried out your division, you're going to simplify after that. Okay, you can do it during this, so it's kind of like it's one step. Okay, so we're going to simplify. I normally do this as one step, but if you do the division and then you simplify, that's also fine. Okay, lastly, because the question was given to you as a mixed number, you want to give your answer as a mixed number. So you're going to convert to mixed number. Okay, so that's kind of the default. If they give you a question with mixed numbers in it and they've not specified otherwise, then I'd give the answer back to them with a mixed number. Okay, it may be that they say give your answer as an improper fraction, in which case you don't need to do the last step. Cool. So I'm going to do 3 examples. The first one is going to look like this. You have 1½ divided by 3 1/5. Okay, so step number 1, I'm going to convert both of these into improper fractions. So 1½ can be expressed as, let me just do it under here. Well, 1 times 2 is 2, plus this extra 1 up here is 3, so that's 3/2. Express this one, so you've got 3 times 5 is 15, plus this extra 1 is 16, so that is 16/5. Okay, now we're going to carry out the division. So if you remember, in dividing fractions, you've got to multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, so this is equal to 3/2 times, the reciprocal of this is just to flip the fraction, so your denominator becomes your new numerator, and your old numerator becomes your new denominator. Okay, so now this calculation, if we work it out, will tell us the answer. We have to firstly quickly look, can we simplify it? Does anything share a factor with 3? Nope. Does anything on the bottom share a factor with 5? Nope. So that means if we carry out 3 times 5 and get 15, and then 2 times 16, get 32, that is our final answer, okay? This isn't an improper fraction, so we cannot convert it to a mixed number. There's no whole parts here, so we can just leave this answer as a fraction. That's fine. Example number 2, let's have a look at this one. We have 2¾ divided by 7½ Okay, first step, convert both of these into improper fractions. So let's have a look. We need to do 2 times 4 is 8, add 3 is 11. So this is going to be 11/4 divided by, well, 7 times 2 is 14, plus this extra 1 is 15. So that's 15/2. Now we need to carry out the division. So we're going to times by the reciprocal of this. So that leaves us with 11/4 times 2/15. Let's do the multiplication. Can we cancel anything down? Does anything on the bottom share a factor with 11? Well, 11's prime, so no. Does anything on the bottom share a factor with 2? 2 and 4 are both in the 2 times table. So let's divide them both by 2. 2 divided by 2 gives us 1. 4 divided by 2 gives us 2. Okay, so I've checked all of the numbers along the top to see if they have any factors. That should be the end. So now let's do the multiplication. 11 times 1 is 11. 2 times 15 is 30. Again, we've got a final answer that's less than 1, so we do not have It's not an improper fraction. We cannot write it as a mixed number. So this is fine for a final answer. Last question. Let's have a look at this one. We have 3.5 divided by 1 2/5. Again, first step, let's convert them both into improper fractions. So 3 times 2 is 6, plus this extra 1 is 7. So this is the same as 7 halves. Divided by 1 times 5 is 5, plus this extra 2 is 7, so this is 7/5. Now we're going to carry out the division, so let's multiply by the reciprocal, so that's 7 over 2 times by 5 over 7. This time we're going to cancel again. Do any of these share a common factor? Well, 7 here is on the top and the bottom, so we can divide both by 7, so that leaves us with 1 and 1. Carry out the multiplication. 1 times 5 is 5, 2 times 1 is 2. Okay, so we've got 5 over 2. This answer here is an improper fraction, so we're going to have to convert it into a mixed number. So you could look at how many 2's go into 5. Well, 2 times 2 is 4, with 1 remainder, so it's going to be 2 1/2. That there is your final answer for the third question.